Hey, Carmita here. Welcome to our gentle yoga practice. This video is part two or video two of 5 videos or so that will be in this series. It's a series to welcome connection with self, breath, body, and earthly things, you could even say, with grounding and connection with atmosphere and self and space. So during this practice, if you had a chance to watch video number one, it was about just connection in general, connecting with how the body moves, connecting with breath, and taking a moment or moments for silence and deep breathing, just to kind of find and discover new ways that the body moves or how it feels or how it can work and function through the gentle flow. This is a gentle vinyasa flow with some breathing or kind of moments for peace or meditation, you could say. So it's still a physical flow. We're moving the body through different poses and positions. We're stretching. And if you would like, you have the option to use a pillow or pillows or bolsters, blankets, or when you go in for your moment of peace, if you're lying on your back, you could have a small towelette or blanket over the eyes if that brings you a little more peace. If you're able to find a space that you feel comfortable with, I welcome you into that space. If you have a mat, coming into Sukhasana, easy seated pose, or any comfortable pose that you feel fit for your body, please go ahead and do that now. And we'll start with just again, kind of establishing that connection with our breath. And today we'll add a little more movement into flow. So now we're keeping the gentle practice still gentle, but we've kind of welcomed the body now into that connected space. So we want to still think about connecting body movements with breath, inhales and exhales, feeling if there's any stiffness or tension, or if you're holding the jaws tight, using your breath as a way to come back aware, inhaling and exhaling and releasing the tightness away, the tension, the stiffness as we move, and just being able then to find maybe a little bit more fluidity or a little more opening within self and space and the body by using the breath to guide us. So it's just nice, depending on where you're at in your day, you can do this. And really, any of the other videos that I post, unless said otherwise, at any time of day, you could have, like I said, the mat. If you don't have a mat, just if you're on wood floor or carpet, or even if you're in bed, just make the flow your own. But we'll go ahead and maybe you have a softened eyes or hazy gaze or closed eyes, and you just allow the body to go from this soft place in your Sukhasana or easy seated pose. And with every breath, start to bring awareness to every level of body. So, starting with the lower body and how it feels. Are the legs out or are they crossed? Kind of as you inhale and exhale and breathe, bringing awareness then into the thighs, the hips, or the waist. Eventually, moving with your breath, inhaling into good posture or bringing awareness into posture, and maybe rolling back the shoulders and allowing an awareness through spine and belly, shoulders kind of roll down or back or kind of, press down as the neck extends and lengthens, the head. I always have a habit of tilting my head up, but you want to do your best to keep the head vision forward and just find your breath here. The hands could be on the knees or on the thighs, palms up to bring in awareness and openness to the body. Take a few breaths here. Find yourself taking maybe one really long, deep inhale through the nose, and then a really long, slow exhalation through the mouth. And then taking any breaths or awareness in between, we'll start to welcome awareness into the body. We're going to rock gently back using the hands if you would like, supporting them around the knees, but not pressing down, just a little support around the thighs or the hands out in front. Maybe safer for more of you. Going lower than the knees, having hands placed on where maybe the shin or front of leg would be. Just a little tilt and rock backward, softening as you go forward. Inhaling back, exhaling forward. Just a few more. Inhaling back, exhaling forward, inhaling back, exhaling forward. One more time. So you're kind of feeling your weight change, your weight distribution. What does your body naturally want to do to keep you safe and secure in this space? Take another deep breath and exhale back to center. Maybe take the hands out to sides. We're going to kind of do that same concept, except this time as we rock to one side and the other, the hands will kind of lift off one side and then the other. Feeling the body, how and where does the weight go? How does it distribute? How does it move? You're not really placing too much weight on the hands. They're just kind of there as a support system, and it allows the hands and limbs to get a little stretch here, a little movement through center and the waist. Just breathing through, maybe inhaling when you pass through center, exhaling as you go side to side. Maybe taking one or two more rounds to balance out the body and gently allowing the hands to come back to center. We're going to rock back again to feel that weight distribution. You're going to kind of start to uncross the legs, taking them out to one side and then the other. We're going to gently roll over. Now coming onto our mat. So really today we're finding that kind of with the breath movement and motions and feeling how we naturally move. And then when you bring awareness to the body, if and how it changes the movements, the motions, but also the weight. So in yoga, we want to feel, or we would like to have the body feel a sense of balance, and that includes in the weight and breath. So in certain poses and positions, it's learning how to use the body weight to move it and be angled in certain ways, and feel that the body's leveling out. Or so if we're trying to get into a pose, it just makes more, it adds a little bit more of a, actually can take stress off the body in certain ways. It's a good way to put it. And because you're distributing that weight, so you're not putting too much pressure in one area that maybe could be spread across multiple. So it can help support the body better. Is I guess the best way for that. So we're going to go ahead on all fours on tabletop now. If you have anything going on with the knees, you are more than welcome to always come back seated on the tail, or maybe, you can wrap up the back of the mat, roll it up, and place it under the backs of feet or under the knees. Or you have that option to take the blanket, for instance, or example. You can take that blanket out nice and long, place it where your knees would be. It gives a little additional support. Some people I know will just use two mats and then come into your all fours tabletop here with that extra support on the knee. So support your body, take your time doing what you need to progress. Go ahead. We're going to find some cats and some cows. So we're going to find our breath technique in as the hands are aligned underneath the shoulders, palms pressing into mat, knees aligned underneath the hips. And you find your cow to start. You just allow the belly to drop. It's a little arch into the spine. You lift the tail and the head, inhaling. And exhaling as you pull everything in. And then just continue to move through your cows and your cats at your own pace and time and flow. Maybe finding one or two more cats and cows. Then returning back to tabletop and center. We're going to go ahead for a nice Balasana now. So we're going to take the tail back, or you can leave the knees aligned under hips. So you can take the knees mat width apart and gently find your Balasana child's pose. Extend the arms gently and stretch. Adapt the pose as you need. Find your breath. You're going to feel the tail over the heels. Now, these practices are about weight distribution and feeling the body. And that doesn't have to be through a lot. Just bringing into awareness what the body naturally, unconsciously does, and bringing awareness to what happens when you do move it. Let's take another few deep breaths here in your Balasana. And once again, I want you to think about or kind of bring into awareness so that you don't get too lost in it. But where does the weight in your body distribute? Where do your arms extend long? Do you drop the head down through center? Do you keep the arms in close? Do you put weight on the forearms? Do you drop down not so close to mat? Is your tail lifted? Or as you sit and stretch, does the heels, kind of start to feel the tail or thighs or glutes kind of resting upon them? And that can also be can change depending on which variation of Balasana that you are in. So just kind of feeling the body. You want to start to feel, the weight in both hands. They're extended out, or maybe the elbows are soft. You want to feel, not one side leaning like to the other side, but that your body is positioned in center. The big toes, if your knees are mat width apart, are touching behind you. The tail is going to change just depending on how open the body is or how stretched you are. So that can vary. Then it can also vary if you are in variation one with the knees aligned under hips. Then you may feel the tail differently over the heels. You may feel that the weight is more towards the front of body or the back. So just really taking a moment to discover and then connect with that breath. Once again, when you're ready, you're going to gently raise up. We're going to roll up that spine. We're going to walk our hands forward as we come up. If your knees are out to sides, be careful, be cautious. Gently bring the knees back under the hips and then walk the hands forward to the top of mat. You're going to gently roll down the spine. You're going to bring the hands underneath. We're going to go in for a nice Cobra. You have options here. You want that face and vision kind of over the mat and floor. The hands are going to kind of just be, pretty much close together. The feet are flat behind you. And you have the option to kind of lift that chest up. The pelvis and the waist are connected to the mat and floor. The feet are flat behind you in line with the hips. The hands can stay connected to mat as you lift, finding Cobra here. Or you can lift the hands up, keeping elbows close. Find Cobra here. Find your breath, find your stretch, then gently release. When you're ready, once again, you'll lift up for Cobra number 2. Release. Find your breath, realign. Lift up for Cobra number 3. Release. Take a moment to pause here. Maybe the forehead comes down to mat. You're going to gently use your hands to press into the mat. Keep those elbows aligned. Gently stretch and roll down the spine. Balasana. Now maybe you did variation with the knees mat width apart last time, so maybe now you keep them underneath in hips length or underneath the belly to see how that feels. Or maybe vice versa. You started with the knees aligned with the hips, and now you're taking the mat width apart. Let it all sink in. And then when you're ready, once again, you'll gently roll up that spine. The legs will remain under or on the shins. So if you have any issues going on here, use support blanket as you need, use pillow as you need, or go upon seated on the tail. So we're gonna go ahead now, and I just want you to feel that weight shift once again. So having your shins, you're sitting on your shins or in prep for almost like a mermaid variation or to go up into a nice camel, but we're going to go ahead and just kind of feel the shift from side to side. Maybe the hands are connected, feeling that weight shift once again, and just feeling the body and where the weight's distributed at. Then when you're ready, you're going to go ahead, you're going to take the hands forward, aligned through sides. You're going to gently take a movie back closer to the feet or heels. Press the palms down to the mat, lift up through the chest. Neck and head stay aligned. Do a nice stretch. Drop the shoulders down. Unbend the elbows. Feel the body. Maybe 2 to 3 deep breaths here. And gently release. Coming back to center. And take a nice gentle spinal twist so the hands may come up forward to realign the body. And when you're ready, you'll walk the hands to your right side. Hands walking outside of right side of body. Gentle spinal twist or belly twist. The head can turn with the body, maybe over the right shoulder. Close the eyes, take 2 to 3 or so deep breaths here. And when you're ready, you'll gently release, come back to center, realign the body however you need, take any little motions or movements that you need. Then you'll walk the hands to your left side. Once again, find maybe 2 to 3 deep breaths here. You feel the body kind of naturally, maybe the hands want to grip onto the side of body to find support. But think about more just using it as a support system to go deeper in your twist, not so much pressing into the body or allowing the hips to fall out one side or the other. That awareness of the body and the weight distribution, and then going into your twist and finding that breath. If you catch yourself or you notice you're putting too much weight on one side, just bring it into awareness. Gently let it go and release, going back to center. We're going to bring the hands up in front once again. We're going to take the knees or legs out to one side or the other. Come back onto tail. Legs extend out in front. Let's give them a nice stretch, a nice wiggle, toe wiggles, ankles, knees. We move fluidly through the upper body. Once again, bringing that awareness into where the weight is going in the body. And when you're ready, we'll go ahead and allow those legs to be soft. Keep them nice and out and extended for a little break. And if you have the time, please go ahead and start to move from our practice today of our awareness of weight distribution and where it may lead in the body, where it goes. Start to soften the body, allow the body, your lower body and tail to sink into the floor, or the bed or mat or whatever is beneath you. Start to soften the back, the shoulders, the spine. We're going to slowly move from our physical practice back to our breath. If the body feels any kind of way, feel free to move or stretch out what you need. Otherwise, just slowly move and flow and stretch what you need, and then welcome stillness into the body. Stay here or do what you need for self as long as you'd like. Otherwise, you can join me in taking those arms out through sides, raising them up to ceiling and sky vision can follow. Nice stretch. Exhale, palms through center. We'll do that again. Release the hands out their sides, lifting up to ceiling and sky. Exhale, palm center once again. Inhale and stretch. Exhale. So if you have time to rest or do what you need for self, please feel free to stay there. Or if you have time to go upon your back and take a nice moment for peace or shavasana and corpse pose, please feel free to do so. Otherwise, may this flow ease you to the rest of your day. Light, peace, smiles, and love. Namaste. So thank you for joining me for this flow. You can do this series or any of the videos releasing in this series on their own if you're looking to reconnect with yourself, with your breath, or just find a moment for self care as you see fit. You're welcome to do all of the series as it releases. Maybe you're catching up in one flow if you have the time or separately. Take it as what works for you. uh, the decision to have this series out and release it and share it with all of you at no cost, just the cost of you giving yourself the time that you should take for self, if able, when able, just to welcome yourself back into your own body, disconnect from so much around, so much of the noise that we find out in the world today. Or if you have a small group, you and family or friends or whoever, to join you in this practice, feel free to share or do it with them in small group. A collective is always a wonderful thing. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me at any time. You can connect with me through every outlet, probably, or just about, but Instagram or YouTube or through Join Salute, where you can join me and so many other instructors here where we're sharing our good news and information and exercise and knowledge. And hopefully you find it in your heart to be able to donate what you can to support us. Or if not, we're just grateful that you're here to enjoy this flow in practice. But if you have any questions, please reach out to me, Carmita Smiles. uh, and I wish you all the best. And I hope to see you for the next release of the next video in this series, or check out any of the other material that I have out there in the world. Thank you. Enjoy. Namaste.